The power broker has revealed itself. We know who it is and what we think of that. Hey guys, if you're new to this channel, my name is Marika and welcome to our channel Touch of Magic. In this review, I will review the last episode of the series Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you haven't seen the reviews of the previous episodes yet, go to our channel and check them out. And while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But for now, let's start with the review. The first 30 minutes of the series has been like one big action scene. So the Flag Smashers are in the building, they are preparing the attack on the GRC, and Sam, Bucky, and Sharon, who's coming back. Sam reveals himself as a new Captain America, so we now know what was in that suitcase last episode. It was a suit. The first thing he does as Captain America is fight the French guy, Batroc. We know him from Captain America and the Winter Soldier. In the meantime, Carly keeps Bucky occupied so the Flag Smashers can get out with the hostages. They are held captive. And here comes a huge spoiler alert. So if you don't want to hear that, go away and come back later. But here's a huge spoiler. Okay, here it comes. So Sharon Carter turns out to be the power broker. We told you in the last review that Sharon Carter was the power broker. And she reveals that to Carly and Batroc. And those are the only twos. And Carly and Batroc are killed, so they take that secret into their grave. Sam fights Carly. Next we see Sam giving a speech, and it's all about that equality is more than just a decision of some government or some really mighty people. He says, I really like that part because he says like we shouldn't call Carly a terrorist. She just stands up to what she believes in and you guys didn't listen. So I think that speech was really powerful. The remaining Flag Smashers are killed by their own. I think it's because they don't want to go to the refs. I think it's insufferable. And we actually see a little clip of Zemo on the ref. Next we also hear a little bit more about Zemo because Val brings it up. Because in the next scene we see John Walker becoming the US agent like he is in the comics. And Val speaks about who's laughing now, Zemo has less left. We also see Bucky seeks redemption. Sam visits Isaiah Bradley. He actually takes him to the Captain America museum where Isaiah has become a statue. Episodes end with a really cute scene where Bucky and Sam are becoming really good friends, and I think they found a home both. So now it's time for the review. I actually thought that the final of the series was a bit disappointing, and I think it's because the peak was in the beginning. The first 30 minutes were a lot of action, and mostly when the action ends you have kind of redemption, a little bit of feel good, but it only takes maybe 5 minutes, but this was 15 minutes and to me it was a bit too long. And I didn't think that they hit the themes correctly throughout the series because it was about evolving Sam to Captain America and it happened the last 2 episodes, and I feel that they could do a little bit more about that. I mean, his first fight that he had with the French guy, he was about to lose, and to me it didn't feel powerful at all. Maybe they could have done better for first give that feeling of powerful and then almost be defeated. That would be my suggestion. It's also that the GRC is only considering blippers and things are not being fair and taken carefully, and it only hits like it's been talked about throughout the whole series, but only in the last episode within the speech of Sam it comes to light, although it was the underlying theme all along. And it was also a little bit about Bucky's redemption, and it was only about Sam giving the speech to Bucky in the previous episode, and now after the action scene that he saw a little bit of redemption, and I think maybe it was a little bit too short. So I think they could have done more if they introduced less characters, because I feel there were a lot of characters introduced that we didn't really see, like Taurus. And there were a lot of characters that were reintroduced and introduced thoroughly, even though they had no meaning to the part. Well, of course they had a meaning, but it was too minor. That could have done a little bit better. What I really liked about the episode was, well, the action sequence. I really love action. I really love that Marvel does that a lot and they do it good. And I actually think the acting was really great. Although I still have my doubts about the actress of Carly Morgenthau, because the actress is really great as a vulnerable person, but not as a powerful person. I don't feel empowered, and I want to feel empowered. What I also really love is Sam's new costume. He really looks like an angel in a one shot. What I also really loved about this episode is that they put all these little hints or Easter eggs everywhere that predict a sequel to a series, maybe a movie. Like, for example, that Sharon Carter is the power broker, that John Walker is becoming US agent, or a little clip with Zemo. I mean, what was Val talking about? Did he escape the raft? I don't know. I also really love Sharon as the power broker because it's really unexpected. If you've seen her for the first time in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and now it's so unexpected. And when you watch it now, it makes so much sense that Sharon Carter is the power broker. I mean, she knew where the laboratory of that science guy was, and she's really good at fighting. She knows everything about everyone, so it makes a lot of sense now. By the way, here's a little tip. If you haven't watched the episode yet, go watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier first, because it will clear a lot of this episode. I know it's the last episode of the series, but I'm still going to talk about what will come because they put a lot of hints everywhere. I'm thinking about maybe a sequel or a second season or maybe a movie. Captain America and the Power Broker. And I know for sure Sharon Carter will be back as the Power Broker because they put so much in. It must be. And Walker as US agent, I think he will become like kind of a bad Captain America version of him, like he is in the comics. I am also really curious about how Sam is being welcomed at Avengers Compound, if that still exists. Now it's time for the verdict. Unfortunately, I have to give this final episode of the series a 7 out of 10 stars. I didn't think it was so good. I mean, it's a final episode. I expect a lot of the final episode. For example, the final episode of WandaVision was really, really good. I really felt it. I really felt a lot of emotions, and during this episode I didn't. I mean, there were moments like this, the speech of Sam, and then Isaiah got his own statue, and I really felt the action though, but it was more like excitement and not like grief or sadness or happiness or empowerment. I think that it's because they peaked at the beginning and it took like 30 minutes, and the peak was about 30 minutes, and then it really slowed down for about 50 minutes, which is, in my opinion, still a little bit too long. But I love the action though, and I love that Sam stood up for Carly and the speech, and I love that Isaiah got a statue. So that gave me a lot of emotions. So that's why 7 out of 10 stars. So now it's time for the series verdict. Because now we completed every episode, it's time to give a grade to the series. I think that this series deserves 8 out of 10 stars. And I think it's because it was a really good series. It was a little bit slow at the beginning, but it doesn't really matter to me. And they peaked a little bit at the end, but I give 8 out of 10 stars because I feel that the last episode was a little bit really peaking at the beginning, a lot of slowing down at the end. I think they could have done more with that to decrease a little bit of time of feel good ending. What I didn't really like about this series, I previously said it before, I didn't really like that they had so many storylines, and I think that made the end of the series a little bit messy because they had to close a lot of storylines. and which didn't feel old. I really like the acting in general. I mean, the actor John Walker White Russell was really good. He gave me a lot of emotions, and I think that's your goal as an actor. I also really like the actor of Carly Morgenthau, but only in a vulnerable part, because she didn't make me feel empowered when she was being powerful. But she was really good in the vulnerable part. I have to give her that. This series was really, really Marvel-like. You need to watch the Captain America movies before watching the series, because this series makes a lot more sense. And I think that this is Marvel's strength. That you have so many movies and so many series tying in with each other again. But it's also weakness, because you have to watch everything again. Like that French guy, I had to look him up. What was his part in the MCU, for example? I didn't remember, because I don't watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier a lot. So I've only watched it once or twice maybe. So I think that's Marvel weakness. So if they reintroduce characters, they maybe should consider reintroducing them again. So what did you think of the series? Let me know down in the comments. I really love this series, and I hope we see a sequel of the new Captain America. But I'm really glad, because we don't have to wait long for another Marvel, because Loki is coming! Loki's coming to Disney Plus mid-June, so we don't have to wait much longer. Only 1.5 months. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and discover more of our Disney and Marvel related video. Thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. Oh, by the way, if you want to see more of us, we have an Instagram, and it's @touchofmagic65. We see you there. Bye.